Kelly Clarkson's story is the ultimate story of a girl from a small town.
My husband and I looked at each other and I said, that is going to be the next Mariah Carey.
Mariah, move over. It's Kelly Clarkson.
Goes to Hollywood.
She was living in her car at one point.
Enters this reality TV competition.
Everybody in America went, what's American Idol?
Voting for her was like voting for themselves.
The judges never really expected her to win.
Kelly's tour was canceled because, frankly, she didn't sell enough tickets.
I think she bit off more than she could chew.
I'm going to go home and hang out and rethink, and I think that's what she did.
It's kind of like a critical time for her, but I think she has the goods to come out of it on top.
Kelly will always hold this spot in people's hearts, I think, because she was the first one to embrace the fairy tale.
Nothing to lose.
Leads you to where you are today.
I believe in storytelling.
It's gonna make you a star.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
In 2002, a new Fox reality show named American Idol dominated TV airwaves and water cooler conversations around the country. The show's hook, a $1 million recording contract to the winner of a nationwide singing competition. And the winner would be decided by the people watching at home. The result? Thousands of contestants lined up in 7 cities chosen to host the auditions. And millions of viewers watched, cheered, argued amongst themselves, and then called a 1-800 number to vote for their favorite performer. The new show quickly became a national phenomenon, and in the end, a 20-year-old girl from a small town south of Fort Worth, Texas was crowned the American Idol. Her name?
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly has since lived up to her title as American Idol by becoming a Grammy Award-winning, record-breaking, chart-topping, multi-platinum selling recording artist, thus legitimizing the American Idol franchise and becoming the first musical icon literally voted into office. But growing up in Burleson, Texas, a small suburb south of Fort Worth, Kelly Clarkson was far from being an idol of any sort. She was simply a high school kid with a good voice.
Kelly was popular in high school. I don't think she was popular because she went to all the parties that popular people went to or wore the clothes that popular people wore. Kelly was popular because of who she was.
One of the choir teachers heard me singing in the hallway. I happened to be just singing in the hallway, like by myself, like nobody else was there. I was helping some teacher move her stuff to another room, and she was like, "Why aren't you in choir?" And I was like, "Well, I can't sing, you know, so that's probably why." So. But yeah, I got into it and I found out I actually could, and I kind of had a niche there.
Our last soloist this evening will be Kelly Clarkson.
For a 7th grade voice, that I heard her in 7th grade the first time, really a lovely, nice vibrato. You know, I've heard a few voices like that, but you know, hers was really, and had such a range, really nice range. That was really phenomenal.
I do remember the first time I saw her, and it was when my husband and I were at a community church-sponsored program. Kelly was one of the participants singing in the program. I don't even remember the song she sang, but I do remember when she was through, my husband and I looked at each other and I said, that is going to be the next Mariah Carey.
Well, when Kelly and I were in Brigadoon together, when we were on stage for the most of the show, it was kind of just, me and her were very good friends. We could sit there and play off each other really well, ad-lib a little bit.
I could swear I was falling.
It was great being on stage with her. She had just an awesome presence about her, and she made you feel very comfortable being on stage. Kelly really stood out in my opinion. We definitely all knew that she was destined for bigger things. We just didn't know what they were.
She sang the star role in Brigadoon, but there were literally thousands upon thousands of high school girls who were doing the same thing at different high schools. There was no way she was going to break out. She was just this teenage girl with a good voice.
And this teenage girl with her big voice remained Burleson's secret as she graduated from high school and started working odd jobs around town. Kelly seemed to be on her way to a normal life outside of music until her friend Jessica offered to help Kelly pay to cut a demo tape. Kelly Clarkson left Burleson, Texas in 2001 and drove 1,400 miles to Los Angeles, armed with a great voice, a demo tape, and big dreams. She was headed to Hollywood to become a star. But like many young, aspiring artists, Kelly's wide-eyed optimism was soon met with harsh realities, cold-shouldered producers, low wages, and empty promises.
She gets some positive feedback. Somebody has her sing back up to a well-known singer. But other people say she sounds too black. Or another producer says she's too heavy. Or another producer says she's not curvy enough, meaning she didn't have quite the sexy body that they were looking for in a pop singer.
Kelly was being patted on the back while being shown the door, but was able to pay the rent by playing an extra on a few TV shows.
I was doing backup vocals, demo girls, doing everything. And Henry Winkler was the director of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. The girl that I was living with was an extra. She did that for jobs because she wanted to do acting, and I did it for money. So the first time I went, I met him, and I was like, Henry Winkler.
Kelly's opportunities were few and far between. Producers' promises never seemed to lead anywhere, and potential deals always fell through. Kelly knew the road to success wasn't going to be easy and continued to pursue auditions. But one day she came home to something she wasn't prepared for.
She returns to her little tiny apartment, and it's on fire.
As Kelly watched her apartment go up in flames, the analogy to her struggling career was clear. She had tried her best, but it was time to go back home.
For a few weeks, she lives in her Explorer, hoping to land an audition, and she runs out of money, and she drives home back to Burleson, Texas in early 2002. It seems like the dream is over.
Oh, my sinuses.
Uncle Max, Aunt Harriet, Tom, Dick, Harry, hey, you brought everybody. It's a mucus family reunion.
When mucus packs into your sinuses, you need Mucinex D. It breaks up mucus that causes congestion and sinus pressure.
Rest together, everybody. See you next year.
Uncle Max, Aunt Harriet.
And only Mucinex D lasts for 12 hours.
12 hours?
Mucinex in, mucus out.
This is the standard we set ourselves for clarity and shine in Finish Quantum. Its unbeatable clean and jet dry action leaves nothing behind but the shine. It's only dishwashing, but we believe you deserve brilliant results every time. Finish, the new name for Electrosol, the diamond standard. ASCO, makers of the dishwasher with the largest loading capacity, recommends only one high-performance detergent. Finish, the new name for Electrosol.
Words can't describe how perfectly Almay makeup changes to match my skin tone. That works. With unbeatable prices on Almay Smart Shade Smart Balance, beauty costs less at Walmart. Save money, live better, Walmart.
I'm in.
We're in too. I'm a part of it.
Colonel, I'm in. More than 60 million Americans have tried Kentucky Grilled Chicken. An entire grilled nation of believers in that fall-off-the-bone taste. And now you can be part of it too. Try a two-piece meal with 2 sides of a biscuit for just $3.99. And taste for yourself why 60 million people unthink alike.
Make it 60 million in one.
Unthink and taste the unfried side of KFC.
When I first saw the house, I thought it definitely needed some work. What I really wanted to do was update the house, but still try and maintain some character. You have several options when you're choosing stone face or brick face. What our products do is look and act just like the real thing, but they don't give you the problems that the real things do.
I knew I would be happy with the results, but I didn't know I'd be this delighted. It's absolutely beautiful. The windows, the details, the stone face, the siding, everything is perfect. The house was not just done by professionals, it was done by artists. It's scary to put such a big project in someone's hands, but I'll tell everybody that you can trust Garden State Brickface.
Visit our website or call now and see how Garden State Brickface can help beautify your home.
Yeah, that's my baby!
CSI Miami, Saturday at 10 on A&E.
4 months after Kelly left Texas in pursuit of her Hollywood dreams, she was already back at home with nothing much more than stories of rejection and bad luck. Kelly didn't question her talent, but it now seemed unlikely she would ever become famous for it.
Kelly didn't talk a lot about being famous. What Kelly did talk about was her passion for singing.
Kelly was back in town working part-time for an energy drink company when a family friend told Kelly about an audition for a singing competition that would air on the Fox network.
The girl's mother, the mother of the girl that gave her the money for the demo tape, says, there's these auditions in Dallas for this new show on Fox television called American Idol. Kelly goes, what's American Idol? Everybody in America went, what's American Idol?
A lot of people, when they first heard about American Idol, thought, a nice, pleasant show. Nothing extreme in terms of music. It looked like perhaps the update of old amateur hours and talent shows that had been on television since Arthur Godfrey in the 50s.
Although American Idol now is part of American culture, you need to remember in 2002, when this show began, it was considered simply a novelty show, and that wasn't going to last, and that whoever was going to win it was going to be this one-night, one-hit wonder, and she would disappear.
I think my general sentiment was probably pretty similar to most people in the music business or sort of hardcore music fans, which is kind of like eye-rolling, oh God, reality television gets ruined.
I don't think anybody could have predicted that it was going to be as all-encompassing a success as it was. Along with Survivor in terms of game shows, it's kind of defined the phenomenon of reality TV, if you will, especially as it translates to cross-marketability between TV and music and other arts realms.
The point of the whole thing seemed to be all about over-singing. Who could sound the most like Michael Bolton or Celine Dion? And it seemed like a soap opera. It just didn't seem very rock and roll to me.
It's a show that's designed to create pop stars in a really test tube-like way. I think my sense was probably dread.
While American Idol's premise didn't demand immediate respect from television critics, it did grab aspiring singers' attentions with the promise of a $1 million recording contract to the winner and national primetime television exposure on a major network. Thousands of contestants lined up at auditions in select cities around the country. And standing in the line in Dallas was the 20-year-old girl from Burleson, who still had to go to work later that afternoon. Kelly Clarkson, now number 2311, eventually made her way to the audition room and stood in front of the 3 celebrity judges. She sang Madonna's Express Yourself, and after some playful banter with the judges, she nervously awaited the news.
Everybody before me got rejected, so I was like, well, okay, it's been fun, So I walked in and I sang, and I ended up actually just playing around with Brandy.
She had waited tables, worked at a movie theater, spent all of her money to move to Hollywood, watched her apartment burn down, and then came back home to Texas. Now she stood in front of 3 people who were about to tell her the next phase of her life. The judge's decision? She was moving on to the next round in Los Angeles, California. Kelly packed her bags for a return trip to the same city that had rejected her just a few weeks earlier. In the meantime, American Idol was beginning to gain attention, especially since its British predecessor, Pop Idol, had been a success overseas. The buzz was out. When American Idol premiered, Kelly found herself in a heated battle in front of millions of people. American Idol quickly became a cultural obsession.
It was a hit right out of the box. It just blew people away right out of the box.
It's great television. I mean, I really do love the show. People talk about it the next day. Everyone has an opinion about, people's what happened on last night's show, so-and-so's rendition of so-and-so's song.
It really connected with a lot of people who don't usually pay attention to popular music.
Country fans watched American Idol, hip-hop fans watched American Idol, pop fans watched American Idol, rock fans watched American Idol. Everyone was watching American Idol.
Everyone, including the people who watched Kelly grow up.
I went, whoa, whoa, back up, what was that? And we looked at it, it was Kelly, and we were just like, Kelly? We didn't know she was even trying out.
Oh, it was freaky. I mean, you know, because you're seeing your student on television, it's just the most bizarre thing in the world. All the time I was worried, oh, is she getting enough rest? She needs to go away and get into her closet and just kind of get away from people. It was really cool.
Talk shows dedicated airtime to picking favorite singers, recapping the previous night's episodes, interviewing the losers, and predicting the next round's winners. Late night talk shows were using the show in their punchlines. And the audience, which included all ages, all musical tastes, and all backgrounds, tuned in every week to watch.
People talk about it the next day. Everyone has an opinion about, you know, people's what happened on last night's show, so-and-so's rendition of so-and-so's song, and what themes would be funny for the next year. You know, it just creates a whole wealth of conversation topics that are kind of fun to entertain yourself with.
And the show's 3 judges, all previously B-list celebrities or behind-the-scenes producers, had suddenly become A-list, all-knowing music aficionados. They became recognizable by first name only, and viewers spent almost as much time talking about them as they did the contestants. And every week, in increasing numbers, America called the 1-800 number and voted.
We voted every time. Yes, every time. As many times as we could vote. Which I'm not really sure that's legal.
I think we wore our fingers out on the phone trying to call and make sure that she got our votes, because we definitely felt like she was going to win that competition.
Family and friends were voting for Kelly, but Kelly wasn't sure America would be voting for her until the end. It would all come down to a final showdown with another contestant.
The judges, the professionals, never really expected her to win.
It's not just about singing merit, and it's not just about personal appeal with the fans. It has to be both.
You can't communicate with the citizens.
You know you're lying.
It's going to be very rough.
1 minute, Kelly Clarkson was standing in what seemed like just another audition line, and the next minute she stood center stage on America's new favorite reality show. She was singing her heart out in the national spotlight. It was the summer of 2002, and Kelly was in the midst of the whirlwind known as American Idol. She was placed before millions of viewers and pitted against some very fierce competition. And she handled the pressure by just being herself.
The judges, the professionals, never really expected her to win. But week after week, she kept getting more calls to that 1-800 number, because it was not just her voice. It was that she was approachable. She was so open. Her emotions were right there. She was not under any kind of guise or any kind of formula. You know, you saw the small town, suburban Texas girl.
You really wanted her to win. Like, that's why America voted for her, because I think a lot of America could relate to her. Voting for her was like voting for themselves.
It kind of boils down to being someone that you could relate to, and she could be your friend. You could hang out with her.
Especially when you get down to the last 4 or 5 people on American Idol, they've all got great voices. They all can arrange songs to suit their own talents. They're all very good to listen to. They all have potential music careers.
And what happened was, her voice kept getting better. And that's what the judges began to understand, that she was working and outworking all the other competitors.
Even the first time you saw Kelly on American Idol, you knew that she had this great voice. You know, her performances on that show totally blew everybody else out of the water.
Her voice has several qualities that transcend one genre that I think is attractive to Simon Fuller, number one. And number two is attractive to a lot of American Idol's demographic in terms of what they look at as a singer.
So what distinguishes the American Idol winner from the rest of them? There's a kind of an amiability, a charisma, a personality that sort of intertwines with that talent, that sort of says star quality. And that's what Kelly Clarkson had.
It's not just about singing merit, and it's not just about personal appeal with the fans. It has to be both, and she has both.
America is not known for nice singers, it is known for great singers, and you are one of them. Congratulations.
The Girl Next Door was now in everyone's living room, and week after week, the votes went Kelly's way, until she found herself in a one-on-one matchup against Justin Guarini. Justin was a 24-year-old singer from Georgia with model looks, a full head of frizzy hair, and great pipes. He also had tons of fan support and was a very serious challenger to Kelly. Everyone knew there was a big difference between first place and second place, especially in the reality TV world. No one assumed even winning American Idol would guarantee success, so coming in second place was not an option. Kelly couldn't just be the runner-up. She had to win. But this time, instead of the judges deciding her future, it was America's choice.
The winner of American Idol 2002 is Kelly Clarkson.
In front of 20 million people who are watching this show, this surprise summer breakout hit, Kelly wins. She wins.
Kelly Clarkson won the first season of American Idol because she deserved to win it. She was sort of both the most impressive contestant and also had the kind of heart of America in her hand, and that's what it's about.
You had more than what you saw on the screen. You also had somebody who was smart enough to realize what songs really applied to her and what songs she could project to an audience. And she had a good sense of what worked for her and what she could make her own.
I think she really gave the show credibility. Although it was already a popular show in its first season, the fact that she was truly talented meant that the show wasn't just some, variety reality show. It was something that could actually create a true recording artist.
When Kelly won, we're talking about the first season of this show here. We didn't know exactly what was going to happen with these contestants. We didn't know how America in particular was going to receive the show, whether the argument could certainly have been made that once the show was over, that was the entertainment.
Kelly Clarkson won American Idol, but her road to success was not clear. American Idol had some very loud and vocal critics claiming the show did nothing but manufacture a one-hit wonder. Many people predicted and even wished Kelly would fail.
Once she won, the critics were merciless. They assumed that she would never go anywhere.
They could have called it American Cheese Ball. Good Lord, man. I don't think kids are out here buying talent, they're buying cool. And to find a group of kids this large who could sing just this well and have no hipness, I think this is gonna be like the pet rock, and a year or two from now you'd be like, who won American Idol? Who shot JR? Yeah, I don't remember. Sort of slapping someone in front of a TV camera and giving them a lot of attention, it's not enough.
Hi, my name is Kirsten. I hope you like my audition to become the next happy California cow, eh? I live here. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful, and I am really, really gonna miss it. I lied.
Great milk comes from happy cows. Happy cows come from California. Look for dairy brands with the real California seals.
Please, pick Kirsten.
Okay, who had the opposite sex repellent meal? Me. And the I'm not fat, I'm husky special.
What are you really getting with greasy fast food? Instead, make it a spicy-licious new low-fat buffalo chicken at Subway. Now part of a Subway Fresh Fit meal.
Come into Sears Optical today and get 2 complete pairs of eyeglasses for just $99.99. Or take a year to pay on qualifying purchases when you use your Sears card. Sears Optical. Life well spent.
What is fun? Is it the stuff that blasts away stress like a fire hose filled with happiness molecules? And how do we have fun? Oh, wow, that's an intense look. Maybe less plumage? Thank you. Well, over the years, we've developed a precise combination of water slides and camps for the kids, and dolphin rides and hot stone massages, and all delicious lobster, which, when mixed together, really seems to do the trick. So when you're ready for some vacation fun, leave it to the fun experts. The people who took this, no fun, dull, lifeless, little damp, thank you, and turned it into this, super fun and adorable. Why does it work? We don't know, it's a mystery. Much like how you can't put a price on fun, but we can. Wow, nice adjustment.
clinical strength Zenadrin RFA1, we lost a combined 306 pounds.
I lost 48 pounds.
40 pounds. 57 pounds.
Together, we lost a total of 125 pounds.
For rapid weight loss, clinical studies show Zenadrin's key ingredients deliver powerful results versus diet and exercise alone.
Burn calories,
Increase metabolism and lose weight.
trust the power of Zenadrin, and you'll love the way you look.
Get clinical strength Zenadrin and new Zenadrin drink mix today.
Exceptional shine comes from perfectly dry dishes. Finish Jet Dry Rinse Agent removes water drops and residue, ensuring perfectly sparkling dryer dishes. Finish Jet Dry, the diamond standard.
I make a living in the movies, but for the past 20 years, I've also been a cop. My name is Steven Seagal.
When we tell you get out the car, you get out the car. Oh man, that's Steven Seagal. I want an autograph.
That's right, Steven Seagal, Deputy Sheriff.
Kelly Clarkson.
Less than 2 months after American Idol premiered, and less than 2 years since her lead role in Brigadoon at Burleson High School, 20-year-old Kelly Clarkson was crowned the American Idol. And as America's new idol, Kelly was thrust into the public spotlight and into popular culture.
When it's like you're no one, no one really knows you, and then like everyone knows you in their household from at least one member of their family that watched the show, it's kind of weird.
When she won American Idol, Kelly she had the world at her beck and call, especially with the single that American Idol generated.
She has an absolutely perfect pop voice. It's very clean and it's very true and honest and pure, and it's inspiring, but also it's got some weight behind it. There's no fluff to her.
I mean, I think Kelly's talent is enormous. She has one of the best voices out there, and her youthful energy when she's performing and the passion that she brings when she's performing the songs and recording them really brings them to life.
A moment like this, Kelly's first single from the show became the top-selling U.S. single of 2002.
No matter who sang that song, it was going to be a #1 hit.
I mean, I thought it would do well, because the show, but I didn't think it was going to break records.
And the single's success fueled Kelly's critics and fans to ask the next big question. When would she release her first album?
It's just so weird how, I already have, a fan base and I don't have an album out yet. People are, waiting for my album, and I'm a first-time artist, so it's kind of weird.
And after 6 months of preparation, Thankful was finally released April 15th, 2003.
I wanted to wait for it to put the album out because I didn't want it to be something that wasn't me, And I don't want to be one of those artists that comes back and says, oh my God, I hated my first album, so this is me on my second one, I wanted to be a big part of it.
The album was an immediate commercial success, debuting at #1 on the Billboard charts and presenting America with a brand new pop anthem, Miss Independent.
The reason why I chose Miss Independent to be my single off of the album is just because it shows a lot of the tastes on my album. It's very rock, it's very R&B, soulful, it's kind of like a groove track, it's catchy, it kind of shows everything.
The album eventually went triple platinum, selling over 3 million copies in the United States.
I don't think it was a surprise that her first album did well. American Idol was a big show and brought a lot of fans to her album, but it was also a good album, and she's a talented artist.
With her first album, when she came out, it was a real polished pop album.
You had some really interesting songs like The Trouble with Love Is, which is just this great sort of 1980s Whitney Houston-esque soul ballad where you can hear that Kelly really has some soulful qualities in her voice. For me, that song was what got me interested in Kelly Clarkson as an artist, because you could tell there was something a little bit more going on with her voice than just the normal prefab pop singer.
Even after Kelly's commercial success, or maybe because of it, many music critics wrote ruthless, scathing reviews normally reserved for actors turned singers and novelty acts.
Once she won, the critics were merciless. They assumed that she would never go anywhere.
Just putting somebody in front of a TV camera is not enough. You've got to have some hipness, you've got to have a good song, and you've got to know how to sell it, and just sort of slapping someone in front of a TV camera and giving them a lot of attention, it's not enough.
Listen, it's just a reality show.
People have to get over themselves.
We all thought she was the next Debbie Gibson, the next Tiffany, the next Britney, simply because, you know, she came from American Idol.
The premise of American Idol was not only to introduce a new star, but also to sell a new product. So when Kelly walked off the stage a winner, so did American Idol. The show had successfully manufactured a new pop star, and it was time to capitalize.
People love a Cinderella story. That's what it's selling. You know, the unknown who comes out of nowhere and all of a sudden is a huge star.
It's strange to walk into any store in the Metroplex and there's a Kelly Clarkson song on the, you know, loudspeaker.
She is a business, she is a brand, she has made a lot of money for a lot of people.
Kelly was contractually obligated to American Idol in most facets of her career. And one of the most regrettable obligations was her appearance in the Simon Fuller-produced feature film, From Justin to Kelly. Despite the huge American Idol fan base, the film bombed at the box office and became a source of embarrassment for the American Idol franchise.
I'm actually one of probably about 5,000 people who saw that movie, but you know, I think she realized that it wasn't the greatest movie ever, and she kind of tried to have fun with it. You know, it wasn't the greatest movie ever by any means, and it has become something of a joke, but I think Kelly had a really good attitude about it.
It seems like she's going to be the punchline to a bad trivia question, and she never stopped. She persevered, she kept working on her album.
Critics predicted it would be her defining moment. Kelly would either move beyond American Idol and become her own star, or would be forgotten along with the rest of America's former reality stars.
First, it's an hour, then a day. It turns into a month, which leads to a year. That transforms a lifetime. Life begins at recovery.
Let's put a few thousand kilowatts in a vise. Squeeze some savings back into our budget, into our attics and walls. Let's locate the original energy source called you and turn that machine up full blast. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Come get 50% more savings on insulation with a new lower price of just $9.37 per roll.
Sound mind, sound body, ASICS.
Hello, my name is Shelby, and I'm a brilliant choice for this competition to become the next happy California cow. I think you should pick me so I can trade this bloody fog for the sunny fields of California. You can see I'm a rather attractive cow. I've received more than a bit of praise for me patterns and spots, especially this one on me bum. Looks just like the Queen.
Great milk comes from happy cows. Happy cows come from California. Look for dairy brands with the real California seals.
Vote for Shelby, love.
Only if it's not too humid.
Depends on how motivated you are. You gotta let it dry first.
Probably not a hairdryer.
I wouldn't worry about that.
No, never do that. Ever. Paint remover.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
No, it's not.
Oh, no.
You can't just glob it on thicker.
Oh.
Ooh. That's a new one.
Save 25% on Duration Home, Harmony, and Resilience paints, September 27th through October 4th.
Now every dog wants to be a Caesar dog. Introducing Caesar Bistro Entrees. Tempting new flavors like steak Florentine. Perfect for the small dog you adore. Caesar, love them back.
In 2004, 2 years after winning American Idol and 1 year after her first album's release, Kelly's critics were still abundant and vocal. Many expected Kelly to sell big in the first months following her American Idol win, but her 15 minutes of fame appeared to be up long before a second album. By this time, American Idol already had new faces, like Clay Aiken and the show's new winner, Ruben Studdard, making Kelly Clarkson no longer the sole American Idol. She now had to prove herself on her own. And on November 30th, 2004, Kelly answered her critics with Breakaway. Kelly's second album laid to rest the argument that her sales were based solely on her American Idol performance, as Breakaway sold like albums very rarely sell.
It was obvious on the second album, Breakaway, that she wanted to move in her own direction, and that's a big reason why that record had some rock influence on it, is because that's what she feels.
I didn't think Breakaway was a phenomenal album either, but again, there were some really interesting songs there.
Breakaway is a fantastic record. It felt like brawny and powerful and forceful, but also very sort of mainstream in a good way, which is exactly what she's about. And it had everything that kind of was missing in terms of her force of personality coming across that we didn't see on the first record.
You know, Since You've Been Gone from Breakaway just has this immense chorus that, you know, the song's 3 years old and I still can't get out of my head. I find myself singing it in the car sometimes.
Anybody starting a new job and a new place and a new environment, everything, your world changes, you know? And so my friends, like, things change there, my family, stuff changed there. Boyfriends, that's hard, like, it's just, everything is just so difficult, and it just, literally, like, I just kept it bottled up and it just came out all on paper.
He says, but I'm going my own way.
Kelly is one of the few recording artists who sold more than 10 million albums on a single album.
Breakaway became only the 4th album in history to stay in the top 20 for an entire year. It went platinum 6 times over and took home 4 American Music Awards, 3 MTV Video Music Awards, 11 Billboard Music Awards, a People's Choice Award, and 2 Grammys. It was official. Breakaway was a breakthrough, and Kelly Clarkson was here to stay. In 2005, Kelly Clarkson was at the commercial peak of her career, but the same ambition that drove the Burleson, Texas girl to Hollywood and then to American Idol, this time urged Kelly to clear her own path as a songwriter.
In 2005, she had 40 songs she had written, and she said to me that even though her record album had all the top songwriters in the world writing for her, what she wanted to do was write her own songs.
I like, you know, R&B, I like rock, I like pop, I like country, I like everything, you know? I want to be able to do everything.
Against the wishes of those managing her career, Kelly wanted to take a chance and decided to write her own album.
She was determined to write her own songs, to create her own music, to have her own voice, and not just be a niched product of the record label. And she knew that this was going to cause, down the road, some conflict with producers and record executives that wanted her to sing nothing but the top 40 songs. And she says, but I'm going my own way.
She really held her ground and put her foot down and determined to put out the album and the music that she wanted to put out, no matter what anyone thought about it, and ultimately that's what she did.
Kelly's decision to write an entire album impressed many music critics, but her legendary Hall of Fame producer, Clive Davis, wasn't as impressed by the idea. Kelly and Clive's difference of opinion became public, and Kelly was faced with her first public controversy.
Kelly made some comments about Clive Davis that didn't go over very well, and it was tense for a while there.
To get in a public feud with this legend of the music business is pretty strange. But I give Kelly, you know, extreme credit for going head-to-head with Clive, because Clive was looking out for his best interests, and Kelly wanted to grow as an artist.
The argument over the direction of Kelly's new album was eventually put to rest, and My December was released. Every song on the album was either written or co-written by Kelly Clarkson. My December received mixed but largely positive reviews from the major music critics. But the question of whether Kelly's ambitious goal was also commercially viable was left to be answered by her fans.
My December didn't perform as well as her previous albums, but it still performed really well.
I don't think that My December is as strong an album as Breakaway, but I also think that I like it more than I would if somebody had just sort of put her in a room and told her what to do, because it still feels very authentically Kelly.
My December would have been a stronger album had she gone the Avril Lavigne route and let Clive Davis dictate a little bit of its content, so that at least the album would keep her name out there, but it would also signify a progression, much like Breakaway did versus Thankful, the first album, in terms of becoming her own artist eventually.
My December's humble sales, which were around 1/10 of Breakaway's numbers, were used as ammunition by the media, both for and against Kelly.
It's the album that she wanted to put out, and it hasn't done very well. Commercial success may be the absolute bottom line for her label, but it's not the bottom line for her. It sounds like she feels pretty good about where this is, the sort of way events have unfolded.
Kelly's supporters congratulated Kelly for sticking to her guns as a growing songwriter, while her critics said Kelly's lack of sales exposed her as a limited artist.
Kelly is an incredibly talented singer. She has an amazing voice. I mean, she's the real deal. I think one bad album, or one poorly selling album rather, isn't going to stop her from continuing to have a career.
While the critics argued, Kelly seemed very happy with her decision. But in the summer of 2007, Kelly's stadium tour was canceled due to lack of ticket sales. Kelly was becoming known for her passion to tour, and the cancellation was a shock to many of her fans.
Kelly had this huge stadium tour planned, which I don't think many people thought was a good idea because she had never really played such big arenas, and she herself said that she was never comfortable playing such big arenas. So it ended up being canceled because of poor ticket sales, and they've since rescheduled a smaller tour, more intimate settings, and I think that's what works for her better.
The whole fact that Kelly's stadium tour collapsed, to me, isn't that big of a deal. I mean, so she has to go to smaller theaters. I mean, that's not the end of the world.
It's a more intimate tour, and fans always love an intimate performance.
A lot of this is about sort of perception, because could be seen as an embarrassment that the tour didn't sell and didn't do very well, and she wasn't able to make it happen, and maybe it was, but she seems to have recovered, so good for her.
Kelly Clarkson's canceled tour and low album sales were considered by some as signs of Kelly's decline. But Kelly disagreed and was about to make some changes with the help of a new friend.
100 years of engineering excellence is right on time. It's GMC Truck Month. Shop Sierra 1500 SLT with the 403 horsepower 6.2-liter V8. It's the most powerful half-ton V8 in its class. Step up to the best. It's GMC Truck Month. Get 0% APR for 60 months on 2009 GMC Sierra. Or get $6,000 total cash back on select 09 Sierra 1500 extended and crew cabs in stock. See your GMC dealer today.
More dishwasher brands are unanimous in their commitment to brilliant results by recommending Finish, the new name for Electrosol, the diamond standard.
The results are in. Beauty editors and research institutes are seeing results.
Best cleanser, Essence Magazine. Hydrates better than the $350 cream.
Most importantly, women are seeing results. And still, no drastic measures. Olay Regenerist.
Are odors disrupting your life? Destroy them with Lysol Neutra Air. It eliminates odor-causing bacteria in the air and kills 99.9% of bacteria at the source. Oust Air Sanitizer is not approved to kill bacteria at the source. Enjoy nothing but freshness with Lysol Neutra Air, the ultimate odor eliminator. And try Lysol Neutra Air Freshmatic for clean, fresh air automatically.
When I first saw the house, I thought it definitely needed some work. What I really wanted to do was update the house, but still try and maintain some character. You have several options when you're choosing stone face or brick face. What our products do is look and act just like the real thing, but they don't give you the problems that the real things do.
I knew I would be happy with the results, but I didn't know I'd be this delighted. It's absolutely beautiful. The windows, the details, the stone face, siding, everything is perfect. The house was not just done by professionals, it was done by artists. It's scary to put such a big project in someone's hands, but I'll tell everybody that you can trust Garden State Brickface.
Visit our website or call now and see how Garden State Brickface can help beautify your home.
Is back in Philly and Detroit.
I'm here for a reason. I'm enforcing the law.
Brand new city, brand new characters.
They call me Ponytail. Give them all ticket. Another one for Ponytail. I wouldn't have nothing to do if you didn't park illegally. Big ticket giver. That's me.
All new Parking Wars, Tuesday at 10 on A&E.
Throughout her childhood and during her brief career, Kelly Clarkson had always looked up to country superstar Reba McEntire. Reba embodied the character and personality Kelly could relate to growing up, and the country star's long and successful career was something Kelly aspired to as a professional artist. So, in the midst of the weak sales of Kelly Clarkson's third album, My December, and her canceled tour, it almost seemed an act of fate when Kelly decided to leave her agent, Jeff Quatinetz, and sign with Reba McEntire's husband, Narvel Blackstock. Kelly now had a new agent in Narvel and a new friend in Reba.
It's seen as a move towards, somebody that she's friendly with already, that, she can kind of start over fresh and move on.
Kelly has a really close relationship with Reba McEntire. They've performed together numerous times. She's done 2 specials on CMT with Reba. They've performed a lot of duets together. She's like one of Kelly's idols, and it's always rewarding when you get to perform with one of your idols and they have a mutual respect for each other. They're both enormously talented, and the fact that Reba, who's this huge star, often performs with Kelly and embraces her, says a lot about Kelly's strength as an artist.
I think she looks at Reba McEntire as a role model and wants to be another Reba who's been around for 20, 30 years.
Reba McEntire has become a real mentor to Kelly. They've become friends as well, and she talks a lot about getting advice from Reba and how to keep her career going, a long-lasting career.
Yeah, the line between pop and country is so gray these days that I could very easily see her moving in that direction, yet keeping pop rock cred.
Kelly and Reba had formed a friendship since Kelly entered the recording industry and have since joined together to record Clarkson's song Because of You for Reba McEntire's album, Reba Duets. Kelly and Reba's friendship also spawned the 2008 tour, Two Worlds, Two Voices, which is co-headlined by the 2 artists. Kelly Clarkson, the small-town Texas girl with the big voice, has grown over the years from an American Idol to a worldwide superstar and cultural icon. And while some pop icons in 2007 were appearing on television on their way to jails, rehabilitation centers, and divorce courts, Kelly Clarkson has remained a star her fans could look to as a role model. Kelly Clarkson may no longer be the girl next door, but she still acts like it.
You never see Kelly in the tabloids. Never. There's nothing that goes on in her personal life that interests the tabloids.
She has a very strong personality, but she's not like a celebrity. She's not somebody out there in the media making her opinion known about everything. She doesn't have the Courtney Love gene.
We don't hear about her, having these wild nights out in Hollywood.
She's the anti-Britney. She's the anti-Mariah. She is a normal, down-to-earth, regular girl next door. She's not anorexic. She doesn't have fake boobs. She looks like a normal person.
The fact that she's maintained that persona through being a star, I think has enhanced her ability to stay out of the spotlight for bad things.
After her second album came out, she was the headline attraction for MTV's Asia Award. She goes over there, does a presentation, gets awards, and afterwards there's a big party where she's supposed to be the guest of honor. But as they're driving to the party, she sees this carnival on the side of the road with roller coasters and bumper cars and everyone. She says, guys, pull over. Instead of doing what you're supposed to do, always remember to do what you want. And for the rest of the night, instead of showing up at the glitzy party, she rides roller coasters, drinks lemonade, and eats popcorn.
Kelly really hasn't gone Hollywood. You know, she still spends a lot of her time in Texas, actually, and hangs out with her friends from Texas. So she really hasn't bought into that Hollywood lifestyle.
She keeps close touch with those who are really close to her. She's surrounded by still her best friends from high school, her brother, and her family.
Throughout Kelly's career, the media has targeted Kelly on a variety of issues, one of them being her weight, an issue Kelly was never afraid to discuss or laugh at.
Fox presented the entire group of contestants to television critics who were attending the January mid-season television critics press tour. They were talking about the show and they brought everybody up. And she was on stage along with the other contestants. And one of the critics asked, you know, a lot of the other contestants kind of have revealing outfits and kind of show their navel and stuff like that, and your attire is a little more modest. Why is that? And she said, well, because Kelly has a little bit of a belly. It was so frank and so honest and so charming that she kind of won the hearts of everybody in the room with just that one little remark.
I think Kelly has really stood her ground. You know, she's talked about not liking to diet and not caring about those pressures to be thin. You know, she's confident in herself and thinks that her music stands for herself.
We've seen her at different weights at different times, and she always looks great. She's healthy. That's a great thing for, you know, girls to see. Here's this girl who can sing, who's really talented, and she looks real, and people like that.
She's an attractive girl, but she doesn't sort of portray herself as a sex object in the same way that some of these other women do.
Kelly is comfortable with herself, and she's a beautiful girl, and she should be. She should be proud of who she is and how she looks. There's absolutely nothing wrong with not being a stick.
Kelly Clarkson has also consistently remained a private person. She owns a small ranch in her home state of Texas, hired her brother Jason as her assistant, and enjoys hanging out with her friends away from the media's glare.
Whatever we don't know about Kelly Clarkson, she doesn't want us to know about her. She craved success as an artist, but not necessarily to have her whole life exposed to the public.
A lot of girls look up to her. She has a lot of young women fans, and in that sense, there's sort of an inevitable role model relationship that comes out of that.
I think Kelly's fan base it's from little girls to girls in their 20s and 30s to, you know, grandmas.
She has both a really strong fan base and a really significant talent.
I think there's an advantage for a young girl growing up in the South because people from the South are just easier. They're just easier to get along with and be around, and for Kelly that comes across in everything that she does. Whether you meet her for the first time, she's going to be as sweet and adorable as she always is. It comes through in her interviews and her performances. I think it's what her fans love about her, is she's approachable and they feel like they're a part of what she does, and I think that's just the beauty of being from the South. It's sort of impossible for a Southerner not to be that way.
She was a scrapper. She worked hard, she made her own demo tapes, she believed in herself when no one else thought she had a chance.
Today, Kelly Clarkson has shed her manufactured identity as American Idol and has earned her own name by continuing to succeed as both an international pop star and an artist looking for a voice. Kelly's short career has been filled with questions and doubts, but Kelly has answered her critics with record-breaking album sales, awards, a loyal fan base, and an unmatched desire to grow as an artist.
Name another reality show in the history of all these reality shows that's produced a star whose name you can still remember. And American Idol now has a list of them, but Kelly was the first.
A lot of people always ask me why some people have stuck around after American Idol and some haven't, and I can't honestly say for them, because honestly all the people that I've met are very talented, and I don't have a reason why they maybe didn't shine so much, but I know why I probably have stuck around, just because I have a lot of drive. Like, I'm very driven. I just know what I want.
I think the pressure on Kelly now is self-generated mostly. She could be Carrie Underwood and just go with the flow and sell millions of records and become rich and become an icon. But I think Kelly is Miss Independent. She's her own person, and she really always has been, and she grew up that way.
She's obviously not a one-hit wonder. This isn't somebody who's disappearing, and she has both a really strong fan base and a really significant talent.
She's an amazing voice. That girl's truly talented. And you always want to find those because they don't come around all the time. There's a lot of really good singers, not a lot of great. There's a fine line.
She came to us via American Idol, but she has what it takes to be a genuine pop star.
The thing about Kelly's future is it all depends on how much she grows as an artist. I mean, she can continue selling, millions of copies of her, pop albums, but I think, Kelly really needs to grow and mature as an artist if we're going to be talking about her in 5 years.
At the end of the day, Kelly definitely has the talent to be an enduring star. She has an amazing voice, and she has the cachet, the credibility, from Reba McEntire reaching out to her. She has Clive Davis behind her. She has all the elements in place to have a very long and successful career.